Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Fate Podcast, where we discuss film, anime, television, and other forms of entertainment. I'm your host, Elijah Deuce, and also we have my co-host here, Sam. What's up, Sam? How you doing today?
Chilling, man. Chilling. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. I love talking about film. I love talking about the entertainment business, and today we're gonna have a couple of things to talk about. We're gonna do a little things differently here today. Typically, we review one thing, talk about it for about an hour, but we're gonna mess it up a bit. We're gonna do several things, talk about several films and TV series because I think if y'all don't know, we've been out for like 3 weeks not recording because my laptop was messed up. So all the things was coming out. We just wanted to talk about it because we love some of the things that's coming out that came out. So it's just gonna put everything in one. Hopefully you guys like it, and most likely we're probably gonna do this more often. It's not gonna be one thing. I'm trying to diversify the show, so we're trying to do more things. But you already know before we start the show, we're gonna do recommendations slash what have you been watching. Sam, you got a couple of things you want to discuss about recommendations or what you've been watching lately?
Oh, yeah, I got quite a few. Been doing nothing but watching stuff. If I'm not doing work and all that. So,
Of course.
on Apple TV, Foundation. That show is fire. If you love sci-fi and that like sort of epicness and all of that sort of deal, it's really good. It's like dystopian future where like something called the Empire is sort of in place, and some scholar invents something called like psychomathematics, and he basically predict what's going to happen in the future based on all this other stuff and all this data and equations. And they don't like it, so like there's like a separate colony that's trying to figure out a way to survive past the point that they predict and all this stuff. And it's really interesting so far. I haven't finished it. What movies I've seen lately? I went and saw Last Night in Soho. Did you see that?
No.
That's
Last
an
Night in Soho.
movie.
Is it a really good movie?
I liked it. It's weird. It's really weird. Because like it's a movie that like you just kind of like going like, wait, what's happening? Like for like so much of the movie, just like what's going on? I don't really get it. Like I see what's happening, I understand, but like, what does this all mean? And then they kind of wrap it up nicely with like some surprises in the end, and it's really interesting. It's very different. So if you want something that'll kind of surprise you, definitely
So
see that.
what kind of movie is it? It's like a thriller, suspense, like
Yeah, it's kind of like a genre bending thing. Like, I mean, it's even kind of scary in some, like, it's got some horror elements for sure. It's got some thriller elements. But yeah, it's kind of all over the place. It's really interesting. I saw the new Wes Anderson movie, The French Dispatch. That was really good. If you like Wes Anderson style kind of films, it was very like linear with like the very play style angle that he kind of goes with and set design. That movie was really sick. Man, I've just been seeing so many different things. It's hard for me even to like think of them all now. But like those are like a lot of the main ones that I've seen. I went and saw that like basically like that Oscar bait kind of movie. It was called Belfast. I don't know if you heard of that one. Yeah, it's a pretty simple movie. It's kind of just like kind of like a family-ish or kind of a coming of age story, sort of. So that was interesting. Definitely an Oscar bait movie, so it'll probably win some good awards. And it might deserve them. I don't know. There's gonna be plenty of other good things coming out though.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's a lot of what I've been watching. And the other recommendations, some of them at least, we'll probably be talking about today. So try to hold my tongue for those. But yeah, there's probably other things that I'm not thinking of, but I've talked long enough, and
No,
I
that's
think
cool.
enough
That's
sharing.
cool. Like I have no recommendations because I haven't been watching a lot of things lately. But I'm gonna tell you what I watched recently because I'm not gonna recommend this because I really don't know how I feel about this. But I've watched them, THEM them. Um, I was recommended this series to a friend. It's kind of like, you know, uh, a family of black people move in. It's set in what, the 1960s, 1970s. A group of black people moved into all white neighborhood, so it's still around Jim Crow laws and stuff like that. They move into an all white neighborhood, and they moved because something um, traumatic happened where they used to live. So they want to move to start a new place, new living. And they're being harassed, they're being um frowned upon about the neighbors and whatnot. First time they moved in, like the neighbors stood up outside the house all day, all night. Like they'll come, like the women in the neighborhoods, during that time, they're a stay-at-home mom. They will come sit down, just drink coffee right outside their house. And the mom's just terrified, and she has the kids and stuff. So it's more, it deals with a lot about race, and there's a supernatural element to it because all the family members, the husband, the wife, and the two daughters all start seeing things that it really isn't there. And I don't know, as I was watching it, like I'm just okay. The concept and everything's pretty good, but the whole aspect of it, I'm like, I don't get what's going on. Like it took a while to actually, they actually summed it up like towards the ninth episode and 10th episodes, you kind of get what's going on. But throughout the whole thing, I was just like, I don't get it. Like what's happening?
Interesting.
Is it supernatural, or are they're just crazy, because of the things around them, because of the environment? And to my conclusion, I think it's pretty both. There was a supernatural element towards the end that they actually let it's supernatural, but again, it's also the impact of the racism and what the traumatic experience that they went through during that time. So guys, if you watched it, leave a comment if you liked it or not. I don't know how I feel about it. But if you want to give a shout out, maybe explain it better, or the direction how the director went, I don't know, that's something to think about.
I'll check that out too. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah,
I remember one thing, since it's been a while since we talked. You watched Squid Game, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Squid Games, bro. I think it's good. I think that I don't know if the hype was well deserved. For the most part, it was. For the most part, it was. I like Japanese storytelling, because I think they do a great job at doing it. The concept was great. All the character development was great. So I really enjoyed it.
It was actually Korean.
Korean. Oh, okay.
Korean, obviously.
My mistake.
That's right. But yeah, and I only say that just because, dude, Korea has been just dropping crazy good shit. I mean, Paris was fire, and that director is always dropping good movies. I know people are loving Korean dramas. I've never watched one myself.
People love Korean dramas. Like it's like you understand how like that section, like people dressing up, cosplay, and every day love Korean dramas.
Oh yeah. And like my personal favorite Korean horror movies, like there you can always find a good one for sure. Like
Mm-hmm.
The Wailing, that's a fire one if you've never
Mm-hmm.
seen that. It's long, but fire. But I loved the show too. It because like I saw it like on Netflix like for a few days and I was just like, Squid Game, like
Yeah,
what kind of name is that?
of course.
Whatever. And then like all that hype blew up around it and I was just like, all right, does it really live up to the hype? And like yeah, I agree with you, like for the most part, like yeah, it definitely like did. Like that show was crazy, like that was really wild. I think what I really like most about it is like the main character, they didn't go a route where like he's really like likable, you know what I mean? Like
Exactly. He was
he's
terrible.
not like, yeah, he's not your normal hero. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? He's this guy where he's just like, oh yeah, he's kind of a piece of shit. Like he gambles all of his money away to try to get rich so that he can be helpful to his
Mm-hmm.
daughter. So it's like a classic case of like his intentions mean well, but he's an idiot, so he's not going about it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well, actually, the only intention that means well is um the how he loves his daughter. That's the only thing. Everything else he's a
yeah,
piece of crap.
exactly. That's what I
Like
mean.
so he has some in the beginning, some redeemable qualities because he has a daughter. And I feel like they played that well because if he didn't have a daughter, he'd be like, no, this dude is asshole. And it's going to be hard for him to redeem himself. But the fact that he was doing it, doing the money to be close to the daughter and to help his mom was why he became the character. Hopefully, people loved at the end.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, he has a great character development because of his terrible qualities that he has, and like the emotional core of that show is like
Mm-hmm.
very well done. Um, but yeah, I love the show. I thought it was awesome. Um, kind of surprised there'll be a season two. We'll see if that actually ends up going well for him.
Yeah. Did
So I just love how much of a controversies it's kind of sparked with it, with all these other people doing like Squid Game themed parties and like
I know it was so funny.
it is funny. I was watching this like one guy that like tends to just like talk about those different things. He was like, they might as well just put a moratorium on doing anything Squid Game related because it seems like it's just this fast lane to getting canceled if you want to do Squid Game related. It's just like, dude, like just let people do it. Like,
Yeah,
yes, if you want to look at the intention of the show, yes, they're missing the meeting, but let people have their fun. Who gives a fuck? Like
of course.
it's just a good show. Let people
Yeah,
enjoy it.
exactly. Um, one more say. Oh yeah. Do you think it deserve or it should get a second season, or would like was a second season ruin the whole aspect of the show, or not?
I
Or would
don't
it be better as like a
This show
movie? Like
could
they
go,
show,
it could go either way,
yeah.
honestly, with this one, in my opinion. Like it could be really good because like genuinely, I thought it was a really good show. Like, a lot of critiques that I've seen of it is like it's really great up until like I want to say it was like episode 6 or 7 for people. And like a lot of people just kind of hated the whole like elite group of people that came in at the end. It's just like, okay, like yeah, like blah blah blah. Rich
Yeah,
elite men came in, and
but
they're the ones that are
what
running
do
the whole
people
game.
expect? Who do you think ran the stuff? You think was common people that ran the Squid Games? Like I don't know what people expect to, because
No, no. I agree. Like I'm just saying, yeah, like that's just the critique people had. I'm just like, I mean, like it's not that terrible that they did that. Like, I mean, I get it. You could kind of say that's cliche and stuff like that, but
yeah,
I thought it was appropriate and it made sense to me. It was just
yeah,
like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. And
exactly,
but yeah, I was pretty much fine with it. I'm intrigued to see what the second season will be like.
exactly.
It's just going to be dramatically different. So like, I feel like people should just like not have the expectation it's going to be the same. And like, nor people really should, because I don't feel like you want the same thing from it. You're just kind of more of like, how are you going to up yourself from that first season. Like that was
Mhm.
so like that first episode is just it just gets you in right away. You're like, what the hell? No way.
Yeah, bro. Uh, do you? I want to ask this because I'm just like, why has Squid Game exploded? Because there's again, like we talked about, there's a lot of Korean dramas that is have its own niche of people, um, whatever the demographic, um, and but Squid Games attracted everyone from you know white, black, 20s, 30, 40, 60-year olds. It attracted everyone. It was like the top view thing on Netflix ever.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? Like, I mean, I watched it. It was really good, but no, for the people, but it wasn't. No, it was dubbed. It was dubbed. Yeah, it was dubbed.
You didn't watch it in dub though, did you?
No, yes, I did. Well, here's why. Here's why I watched it in dub. Because here's why. Because my wife doesn't like subs. So I have to watch because I
Oh,
watched the series because she doesn't like subs at all. Like at all. She doesn't even like dubs the way they did, how like you can tell it's dub and they're speaking a different language because what the words didn't match the lips and stuff like that. But she kind of it didn't since it was Squid Game, she kind of didn't bother for that. But she would rather watch something like that than actually, read subtitles. So
well, to each their own, I guess.
yeah. No,
And
but
like I
go ahead.
yeah. No, you go ahead. I interrupted.
Now, but if I had a choice, if and now watching by myself, I will watch subs. Yeah.
Yeah, I just prefer it that way just because like it's less lost in translation.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Like because like as it goes down, it just progressively worse. And like even like the dub version compared to like Korean with English subtitles, not closed caption English. All three are different.
Yeah.
And like the most accurate apparently is just like in Korean with English subtitles. And like I even saw it compared to like the closed captioning to English. Like it was wildly different. Like I guess I shouldn't say wildly, but like an example, like at the beginning when like it was explaining like the kids playing Squid Game itself, and like when they won, like in closed captioning, the subtitles will say like they screamed victory.
Yeah.
But like in English, what they really said was hooray. And like, while like sure, it doesn't really change much, but like those are completely different like things completely. Like saying victory is one thing, but saying just hooray is another. And it's like, okay, wow, like how much does this really change the show? And it actually kind of changed it a lot for me, at least. Like, oh my God, some of these conversations seem to make a little more sense because like it's not just like I don't know, like it just felt like there was more added in.
No, I can absolutely agree with you on that because like even like you said, even if they change a word or two, that word packs feeling and impact and whatnot, and the way the actors say the word and stuff. You can get a different feeling from an actor saying victory than an actor saying hooray. Whether it's positive or good, or whether it's you know positive or negative, I would say. It's just the meaning and the impact of how they said it. But yeah, I was just shocked of the amount of people, um, and the amount of hype that it came through. And something this, if everybody watching it, and why not give it a shot?
I mean,
Even though I ain't
of
watching it one night though. It took me because it
course,
took me about a week and a half to finish it because watching it with your wife, it takes a while.
fair enough.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like maybe it with it reaching so many people, it's just probably got to speak to its story that it presents, and just that like and its take on like what it was talking about, and on its take on capitalism and all that kind of stuff, I guess. And
Yeah.
people just kind of really connected with that, and just like everybody has a shot at the same exact thing. It's just the consequences are insanely dire.
Now let me ask you this: would you join? Would you play?
No.
Even if you have a backstory like his?
I mean, if I have a backstory like him or any of those people, I'm probably more likely to do it. But like, if I'm just gonna me,
Yeah,
if they
personally.
came up to me, I'm just like, no,
Yeah.
no thanks.
Yeah.
I'll just take my luck with normal life. Like that's good enough for me.
Yeah. And let me ask you this: would it have been a better show, or a different show, if they just eliminated the people without killing them?
Um, hmm. Gut reaction. I'm gonna say it probably would not have been better.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I think if they was just eliminate people, because I think the
Then it's
reason
just like,
why.
why isn't it a game show, not this secret
Yeah.
invitational thing?
I agree. Yeah. On I enjoyed it. Now let's move on to less gruesome things and talk about the last two episodes of What If on Netflix. And guys, we've been recording most of it. All the other episodes, we just have to load it up. So we just wanted to talk about the last two episodes of the Watcher coming into the fold, creating the What If Avengers with Captain Carter, um, T'Challa, Star Lord, and all those other characters. What do you think about the last two episodes?
Yeah, they were cool. I thought it was cool. Like, it was just really cool to see just this hodgepodge of different characters that he threw together from all the episodes, and was just like, you guys are all the ones. And definitely the most surprising being Killmonger getting picked into all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was interesting. But yeah, they were good. I know a lot of people were just like, they weren't a fan of the finale because what happened? Like, oh well, the team up, but like, I guess people didn't like that it happened so quickly, and it was just like, oh, you don't even care about them. It's just like, yeah, did you see how this show went? Like, that's all, like obviously that's what was gonna happen. Like, nobody thought that was gonna be it could have been a two-parter, easy.
Yeah.
It kind of was,
No,
but like,
yeah, it kind of was. I think it was. Yeah.
like it was because of like the connection of Ultron, but like the team up was only in one episode, right?
Yeah.
Like that very final one. So like, I guess like people probably would have been more satisfied if they had done it over two, but
Mm-hmm.
honestly, I was fine with it in the end. But yeah, I thought it was really, really good. It was interesting, and obviously answered our question about Doctor Strange when we were kind of going back and forth, like, was he alive? Was he dead? Like,
Yeah, I did.
and yeah, you had said he was alive. You were right. He's totally alive still in that little space, and kind of redeems himself a bit, being able to help out and stuff. But I thought it was kind of cool that they finally kind of had Ultron at like peak evil Ultron. Like, that's really what like he was capable of, not what we just like saw in Age of Ultron.
The lesser, but the lesser version.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How did you feel about him? Did you like him?
No, I liked him. He was a really awesome and powerful villain. Like, Marvel tend to create villains that, well, except Thanos, but other villains that like just easy to defeat, basically. more or less. But I think the way they did Ultron, I to be honest, I was like, how are they gonna defeat this dude? Like, in
Yeah.
honesty, especially the the Avengers that they picked to beat them, because I'm like, the only person that was really capable, I mean, they're all capable more or less, or did their part, was Doctor Strange. Um, but everyone else was just like, how you gonna go up against this monster, this person that even handed the Watcher a butt whooping. So I think they've done it well. I think it was the last two episodes were probably one of the best episodes out of all the series. I don't think it's the best, number one, but I think it's like probably in the top five. But I'm not even gonna lie, some of the episodes throughout was obviously disappointing. But I like this. What the surprise twist was, the Killmonger stealing, betraying them and becoming Ultron, and him and the Doctor being stuck in that battle of the Infinity Stones and stuff like that, and they're not now trapped into this forever battle that they're having in this little sphere. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed
Yeah.
it a lot.
That was yeah, I thought that was an interesting way that it ended, where they just
Yeah.
kind of threw him in that little bubble left of that universe. That was a very nice way that they wrapped that up.
Yeah.
Wonder if that affects like the current universe that we watch at all. Like,
Didn't you say this is canon?
yeah, it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Because I really want to see, the Watcher in live action. How about you?
Oh yeah, that would be sick. And I
Yeah.
wonder if he'll pop up in Multiverse of Madness when that comes down,
Mm.
which kind of has its own mess going on apparently. So we can get into that later.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I'm I'm excited for season two. I think season two of What If is going to incorporate, the Eternals, Shang-Chi, maybe Spider-Man, more of Spider-Man. There's a lot of options for them.
Oh yeah.
Maybe they can hit what is it? Hot all the Disney Plus, like Loki and all the other stuff. I don't know. They could do so much with season two.
Oh yeah. Hawkeye's supposed to be coming out this week coming up, isn't it?
I believe Thursday. Thursday. They're gonna come out Thursday.
Let's go.
Yeah. So on the season, will you rate the whole like everything for What If?
Well, probably like an 8, I guess.
Yeah. 7 or 8 for me.
Damn, that's what I was gonna say at first too.
you want to be
we were on the same thing for that one, 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And I just with the higher end.
Yeah.
I can agree with the range.
Yeah, higher 8, yeah, lower 7. I think if zombies wasn't there,
and they're gonna do its own show now, Marvel Zombies.
I know. How you feel about that?
As if that's gonna like redeem itself.
But the thing is, I don't know.
The thing is like it is a cool concept and they could do something good with it, but like we'll see.
So it's gonna continue being animated, right? It's not like no live action zombies.
It better. I wonder if it just picks up with Peter Parker, if he's just like trying to pick up the pieces after that event.
Now moving on, but still same thing with the Disney. Disney last week, I believe, like did all the trailers for their new upcoming series, and She-Hulk. We got the trailer for Moon Knight. All these other things. You seen it?
Oh yeah, and Miss Marvel, I think too.
Yeah, Miss Marvel. Yes. Were you excited to see all of them?
All of those, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty. I think they're pretty good. I Out of the three, the most excited I'm for is Moon Knight, just because
Hmm.
I think that's a really interesting character. The guy is a schizophrenic and like, you know, he somehow runs into like the moon god from the ancient Egyptian god of the moon. I can't even remember the name
Hmm.
of that god anymore, but I used to know it. But anyways, like they become possessed by the spirit of that god, and that is why can become Moon Knight. So that'll be really interesting to kind of see how they do a take on that.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree. Because
it, I like the character Miss Marvel a lot, Kamala Khan. I think she's just like a cool, relatable character, and she was really cool in the Avengers video game. Um, so I'm excited to see that, and then just whatever they're going to do with She-Hulk. I'm intrigued to see whatever they're going to do with that. That should be interesting, especially since they'll have Bruce Banner in it.
and I think the way they did She-Hulk was kind of good. I mean, you can see her full gear uses, but they kind of kept with the comic book character style of She-Hulk, so that's good.
Oh,
Yeah.
they released images of like what She-Hulk looks like.
Yeah, well, a little teaser, like when you watch the trailer of
Hmm.
She-Hulk, they showed like just I think her foot and kind of like her thigh, but not like her
Okay.
whole. Um,
Okay.
but you
Must have
kind of,
missed that.
but it, they have the purple and white, um, um, whatever she wears. I don't know what you call it, but that's still, um, they kind of kept the same comic book look. So yeah, it's
Interesting.
gonna be good. Gonna be good. Um, to mention
I'm
about Moon Knight, when it first when this first came out about Moon Knight, I didn't really know the character as much. I was like, what Moon Knight? I heard bits and pieces of it, so I did my research. So yeah, I was surprised that he was schizophrenic. And I'm like, okay, Marvel is being, bringing characters that lesser known to, the masses and trying to bring them to light. So I like the fact about it. I didn't know that he was. I thought I didn't know he was like embedded with the moon god or whatever the case may be. So that's going to be more interesting to see. And but I also know that doesn't he partner up with Iron Fist, or him and Iron Fist partner up or
I
something like that.
I think so. Probably. I'm sure they do. I'm
But
wondering if there's going to be a partnership with Blade though.
okay, interesting. Yeah, yeah. But I'm happy. We have so much Marvel material for the next like 20 years. Like I don't know when they're
Probably.
gonna stop.
When
I don't
it
know when they're
crashed,
gonna stop creating like this
which it
timeline
might.
to the universe. What you said?
I said the Marvel stuff will stop when it all crashes, which it might soon.
What do you mean with all crashes?
Like people just are like over it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And people are like, okay, we got it.
But are people gonna be over it? I don't think so.
Well, we can get into that with Eternals.
All right, damn the I can feel that the beef gun.
I may well, there's not too much beef, but like I think you'll see what I mean when we talk about
Yeah,
it.
of course, of course. All right, next thing. Um, hopefully we can laugh about this. Dave Chappelle special, The Closer. Um, I watched it. It wasn't his best special, but it was good. It was funny. He had a couple amazing jokes. The story behind it was amazing. Um, but clearly it wasn't his best special. I think his best special was Sticks and Stones. Um, but the way he ended though, he's an amazing storyteller, and his craft shows it. And I think he's the GOAT, Dave Chappelle, at telling jokes and how to tell a story, bro. I liked it. How about you?
Yeah, there's just so much. It's so loaded, right? Like,
Yeah.
with how much controversy it had, and I hadn't watched it initially, and like I'd heard all this controversy, and I'm like, is it though? Like, is it really? Like, because he's always pushed that envelope. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Do you think that like the first episode of his show, it was that Clayton Bixby stuff? Like, that's wild, dude. That's a crazy, crazy first bit to do for your first episode of your show ever.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, like, but to kind of go back to the point here, his newest special definitely isn't his best. Like, I definitely agree with you. Like, it kind of felt like all the subject matter it kind of felt like he's already done these jokes, you know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
he's done this thing already, and like I agree, I can agree with you. Yeah, there's still parts that like I laughed, they were funny, and like
Mm-hmm.
there's parts where it was hitting for me and other parts where it didn't, and
Mm-hmm.
that's fine. um and but yeah, I kind of was just like hoping for more, I guess. You just like always like hope something new, but he was just kind of hitting the same topics, and in some ways kind of like bottom barrel jokes where it was just like, all right, man, like, we get it. We you're not comfortable with a trans person pissing next to you. That, like, all right, like it felt like your uncle's joke, like whenever you're just like caught up with the uncle, like you don't really like talking to too much, and you're just like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
man. But his story with the trans person that like he became like good friends with, and like wanted to like help with comedy and stuff like that, that was a really great story. Like, I know it was just because like it was one of those things where like uh like you get so sucked into it, so like the moment that like he says like, she had killed herself, you're just like, oh, what? Like, it was completely shocking to me. It was really a heartfelt story. It was really nice to like hear that story. I just feel,
Exactly.
because it felt like he shared his understanding of people in the trans community, even though some of his jokes obviously very much conflict with like accepting of that, but like I'm not gonna like dive deep into that or anything,
No.
but like,
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
like, I can understand the controversy in people's beef with the things that he had to say, but like I feel like there are some good takeaways from what he is trying to convey to people. But
Yeah.
also at the end of the day, he's telling jokes, and I feel like even if I don't agree with it, I feel like it's still good that he is making these jokes to because like comedy is supposed to be this space where you're supposed to be able to say things that are like, I can't believe you went there, like,
Yeah.
and again, if I might not agree with all the things he's saying, but like it's good to push that envelope still, just because I feel like comedy is that art form where you need to allow those artists and comedians and creators to be able to do that, especially a legend like Dave Chappelle, and Netflix standing by him and not taking it off. Gotta say, I was surprised that they had said that.
I'm surprised.
With this day and age, you know what I mean?
No, I agree, because I feel like everybody want to cancel someone so bad. And I'm happy, so happy that Netflix was just like, no, you're you're not gonna do this to Dave Chappelle. Maybe if it was a lesser known comedian, possibly. I mean, I don't know, but with
Yeah, that's kind of the thing, right? Like, he's been around so long and he's been in that sort of like game of comedy where he has always kind of been talking about topics like this. So like
Mhm.
built up that credibility to, or like I guess reputation to talk about those. So like
Yeah,
yeah, like coming from him, I feel like people are probably more likely to hear it rather than like somebody like lesser known and it was just like, dude, what the fuck did you just say?
exactly.
And but yeah,
No, I'm happy what Netflix did, and to be honest with Dave Chappelle, like we talked about, it wasn't his best special, but it was more of an enlightenment special because people got to see, even though he was always that way, to kind of, oh, you took care of someone that you make jokes about and stuff like that, because at the end of the day it's still comedy. And he makes fun of everyone, like nothing is off limits with him. But yet, people get the most outrage when they talk about the LBG community. um so I think I was watching an episode on The View, and they're kind of having a talk about it on none of these. Anyway, so, and one of the was like, I was happy to see that, like, at least he's doing, taking care of, the trans, and befriending them, um or her, whatever. And uh it's good to see that he's doing that. But I'm like, he's always been like that, though. It's not like this is like his eye opening, oh my god, let me take a chance. To be honest, like, even in the beginning, I always felt like he took care of people. He doesn't, even though he makes fun of everyone, he's not I don't think he's a jerk in real life where he doesn't care about people and treat them like human beings. um so I felt like they think like, oh, this is the first time he's actually done something. I'm like, no, he's always like that. And right now he's just telling a story of what happened to his friend that died. um so I don't know, I think people have a misconception about what you do with your craft to what you do in your personal life, and they don't have to match. you know Stephen King writes scary stories about different things that have to do with freaking kids. But you think his personal life is like that? You think he's trying to come up with ways to hurt people or other things like that? No, you have to sometimes separate their craft to people personal lives, because sometimes they don't match. And then it's all about being in that element to create something, um and try not to put that but try not to make that your identity in most cases, especially your personal things. So I don't know, I think it's around this topic is all going to be controversial about it. People protesting Netflix. um they did that Netflix walkout.
Yeah.
um
I mean, I know exactly where and why, a big reason why, people have a problem with it. And, it's when he was talking about J.K. Rowling. Um,
yeah.
and he kind of educates the crowd on the word turf,
Hmm.
trans exclusionary radical feminists.
Hmm.
Um, so like, and people took issue with the fact that he kind of agrees with turfs and like he would probably consider himself a turf. And like for me, just like, and like I get it, I know he's up there telling jokes, but like for me, like to him, like be so supportive of this trans person and probably in general, like he would probably be kind. I would hope at least that he would be kind to like other people that are trans and of that community, whether they're not or trans, if they're just gay or lesbian. But shit, kind of lost my train of thought for a second. Um, but I think he would be good to them, but like to say that you would probably agree or that you agree with the turf ideology, I find that conflicting in a weird way,
Mhm.
or not even a weird way, just I find that conflicting because in a way he can be supportive and understand this community and the things that they just kind of like want respected, or just things in general like that. But on the other hand, he if you were somebody that agrees with turfs, then you are also denying that, like, if someone is a trans woman, then you don't really think they are a woman. Like, you're just like, no, you're not a woman. But so I just kind of find that conflicting, and whatever, that's his own thing to deal with. And
Mhm.
I'm no psychologist or anything, but you know that's kind of where I took issue myself, I guess. Even it's just like, okay, like, are we making jokes, or are we punching down, I guess? And the line kind of gets blurred, I guess. And at the end of the day, like I said, I still respect him, for all the things that he has done. But yeah, overall, like, it wasn't my favorite, but
No, I
there's still
agree.
some good things.
Yeah, there are some good things. It's that there are some good things, and hopefully, I know he said this is that special for a while. Mm, That's understandable. So hopefully, when he comes back, he can, and like you, like he said, he's gonna stop talking about this, the trans community, the LBGT community, because I think almost every special he talked about it. Almost every special.
Yeah, and
Um,
I think
so
he might have, and there was like 4 or 5 specials, I think, too.
yeah. So he kind of wrapped that in the bow, which is fine. So hopefully when he comes out again, who knows, a couple years, and Dave Chappelle is probably gonna be a couple more years until we see him again. He's gonna come up with something else to talk about, or have um a, a story he wants you to, that he's gonna form, and in a way of a joke. So hopefully the next time we see him is gonna be another great person. And I'm happy he's trying to help other comedians come up as well. And that's what I think, as the GOAT, or as someone that's really getting your craft, helping others, building others up to do the same thing. Yeah. Yeah. So now we're gonna talk about something that's been out for a while. They did a remake of this a while back. I don't know how it was. I heard it was terrible, but they have books about it. Is Dune. um, with Dune. Actually, you're this is the this is your area of expertise, and this is probably the most excited thing to review on all the things we're going to review today. So before I'll be like the stickler, you should talk about why Dune is a great movie, the number one movie in America, the number one movie of all time.
did you did you like it though?
Huh?
Did you like it?
I'll hold my comment after you say what you have to say.
Oh no. But yeah, I really, really liked it, just because I love sci-fi and stuff. Like, that's my jam. You know, I love all that stuff. Star Wars. I love Blade Runner. Um, like, though, and I named Blade Runner because that's the guy that did Blade Runner 2049. He did this movie too.
Yeah. Mhm.
And I think they did 2 other adaptations that, like, were really bad. One of them I have seen, which it was by David Lynch. It was like his second movie he ever did, second or third. And it is not good. It is really bad. It is really weird, as any David Lynch movie is, if you've seen any of his films. Very weird. But people still love it in their own way. If you love David Lynch, whatever. But this one, and like I tried to read the book a few years back knowing this was coming up, and at the time I just didn't even make time for it. And because a lot of it, like even in the book, and you can see it in the movie too, a lot of it is about like statehood and like uh government, environmentalism, ecology, uh all of those things. And on top of that, you just throw in a little bit of like destiny or even like spirituality or religious ideology in a sense. But I just thought it was so good. Timothy Chalamet killed it. Honestly, the whole cast was really well acted. The movie was shot beautifully. Very classic of that director, Denny, I think his last
Dennis,
name.
yeah,
Denny
Dennis
Villeneuve.
Bell. I forgot. Start with V. I don't know how to pronounce
Because
his last name, but
he's
yeah,
French, so
yeah,
it looks like Dennis Villeneuve, but like
yeah. Phil, no,
like
yeah,
that, but
yep.
it is not pronounced like that at all. It's Denis Villeneuve or something like that.
Yeah, I think Daniel Villeneuve or something like that. Yeah.
But it's really good. I thought like the ships and like the way in which they travel and like the sci-fi elements of it all, those were really unique. Something that hasn't really been like seen before, especially the ships and like, you know, even the shield generating shield that they would have. And because it's an odd thing in this movie. It's like high tech but low tech. It's like high low tech. And if you see the movie, you get what I mean. And like, there's no computers and there's no AI. And to for background that they don't explain, that stuff is outlawed because it became too powerful. And to kind of keep things even, they just got rid of that crap and they keep certain technology, but just no computers, no AI stuff. Um, so that's kind of the sense of that world. And it's just about Paul Atreides and his sort of family's demise, but his rise to power,
Mm-hmm.
as it seems so far. His mom is of a sort of shadow government or group that
Mm-hmm.
pulls the strings of everything, the Bene Gesserits. It is actually a group that is exclusively of women, though, and what they
Looks like it.
believe
Yeah.
a male uh, version of them will come about one day, and that person will be able to bridge past, present, and future, and lead them to a brighter, better future for all of them. And Paul Atreides is sort of the one that's hinted at, the person that could possibly fill this role as they travel to the new planet Arrakis. And on Arrakis is where you start to see the government stuff sort of come in, as the other group, the Harkonnens, the Harkonnens, or the former inhabitants or the fiefs of the planet, as they are called. They were in charge of the spice, and the spice
Vermin, right?
is everything. The spice is the most important thing
Ever.
of
It's more
yes,
precious than gold. Like it does everything.
it's what allows them to travel throughout space, and even like just to be able to kind of like warp speed through that, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
um but that's everything. And the family goes there, betrayal occurs, death, craziness ensues. And of course, all the meanwhile, you have the inhabitants of the planet Arrakis, which is the Fremen. And they are a very, very resilient group of people that have adapted to live on this desert planet where water's the most precious thing there, and all of that stuff. And of course, then you got sandworms, but you got the works of it all. I think the whole tale of your destiny and even in the end of the movie, them kind of showing how it is your fate isn't exactly written.
Hmm.
Things can change.
Yeah.
You still have choice. And I thought, yeah, that movie blew me away. Just every part of it. I thought it was absolutely awesome. Incredible.
Yeah. So, with my take on it, I haven't watched the old films. I haven't read the book. I've heard about it when I was, I think, in film class in college. They talked about it a little bit about it. But I was just basically I'm a newcomer to the franchise. When I first watched this movie, I had an expectation of something of like, okay, well, outer space, this happening, all these, you know, well-known characters coming into this franchise. Um, and I don't know, it didn't it didn't exceed my expectations. I mean, I probably didn't have high expectations because I didn't know what the I didn't know what it was. I didn't know the background. I didn't know who the people were. But I think it was a long movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was a long part one because first of all, I didn't know there were through multiple parts. I kind of like was just like, how come we just can't make this movie just not in parts? Just this is the first movie, and then we get a sequel or something like that. So the fact that they did it in parts, we have one part of this storytelling, the building up to whatever's coming next. I don't know what's coming next because um, I'm not familiar with the franchise, but I think the way they telling of the different characters, the way they're slowly doing it, I thought it was too slow for me. It was slow to get into. Um, it was slow to like any of the characters. Even though these are well-known characters, I just couldn't really get into it. Like, I agree with you. The special effects, the set design, the way they do the ships, everything else was beautiful. Um, but the how they captured me into the story, it just wasn't there for me because you went from it was kind of confusing because I guess the way they did a movie acting like I know everything about this movie, about what's going on. I mean, they kind of course, they did to tell about the spices and the two worlds fighting over all this other stuff, but everything else is left. Most of the stuff was left to the imagination. Like you're supposed to know what's happening, and they kind of said maybe one or two words about it, but that's about it. Um, so I was just like kind of lost and kind of just sitting there just watching, Paul just going to his, character or becoming the king. Um, and the way they did Zendaya, because they market her like she was throughout the whole part of the movie, but she showed up the last 5 minutes. So I don't know. I just feel like it wasn't. I would recommend it. I would not if I would watch it, and I watched it at my house. So on HBO Max. So if I would watch it in the movie theaters, I would have felt like I wasted my money.
Oh, yeah, it was the exact opposite for me. It was honestly, it was better to see it on the big screen just because like the sound and the music was incredible, and like
Yeah.
the big battle scenes were really insane. But I mean, yeah, I get that it was really slow. His movies tend to be like he takes his time telling the story. But I already had the understanding of like the movie going in of like I know I'm not going to get everything just because the book is huge.
Yeah.
Like I have it. It's this big. it is a long book, and it's broken up into 3 parts. At least the first book is. There's like 11 books in the series. They're probably not going to go down the whole lineage of it all, though, just because like the first 3 are kind of the ones that are like the most well known and the most liked, and that's sort of like I think entails the entirety of Paul Atreides, or actually not all of it is Paul Atreides. It'd be the passing of like Paul Atreides to his son that eventually will come around. But I kind of already knew that going in though. But I thought it was really good. Like, even though it was slow, like I thought the buildup of the betrayal and like the world building that they did, and but yeah, I could see how someone has the issue with like going into it, because like I had a coworker actually say the same thing, where they were just like, it felt like the movie was assuming that I knew a lot about it already. And I hadn't even thought of that, because like I only knew like very, very little going into the movie. And but I felt like I learned a lot while the movie happened. So I mean, that's just me. But uh yeah, sorry you didn't enjoy it more. I thought that movie is like it's gonna be the next big thing, really, honestly. It kind of
I
is.
mean, it got good reviews. Everyone liked the movie so far for the most part. It got positive reviews. This just wasn't.
It's
There was no attachment to
one.
me.
It's a typical part 1, like, or
Yeah.
you kind of like, you're just the whole movie, you're kind of gaining the trust of the character. Just like, okay, like, what's my investment? And like by the time you get the investment, the movie ends.
Yep, I agree. So, and honestly, at the end of the movie, I can honestly care less about any of the characters, to be honest. About Paul, about his mom. Zendaya didn't do much. Jason
But
Momoa.
she will, because
No, of course, of course. I know that it was a hint that she's going to do more in next series. You know, Jason Momoa was actually, he did his part. He did his thing of like, sacrificing himself to protect them.
Actually changed that character from the book a bit. Like, he had a little bit bigger part in the movie than the book, and that's actually like a change where I was like, oh, that was a dope change.
What was Batista did very little in this movie, just yelling and screaming the whole time. But we're probably gonna get more of him obviously later. So I got a lot of big names die quickly. So yeah,
it's Game of Thrones in space.
Wow. Yeah. Doing, man. But I mean, the second one, obviously, I'm gonna watch. But it's not something that like I'm gonna go like I'm gonna go to the movie theaters to see. Obviously,
yeah, you'll take your time to see.
I'll take my time to go.
You're not gonna rush.
Yeah, I'll go see it. And if the second one is, obviously you're gonna have more action, because this one didn't have that much action. It did, but I get it. It's the first movie; it's not supposed to have that much, and they spend a lot on everything else, so I understand. So the second one is better, then I probably see the third one in the movie theaters. So that's my take on it. Fair enough. So something that I was excited to see with the new Marvel movie, Eternals. I was waiting for that movie to come out, because you get the cosmic level characters, veteran off to we're gonna see more cosmic level characters. We're gonna see more of Selenials and all of that. I was so excited to see this movie. And I went to go see this in theaters, and my take on it, is more positive than negative. I enjoy the movie as far as like the characters, introducing these characters. Eternals have, the way they, it kind of diversify the characters, the way they bring another element to the Marvel universe of Selenials and, big level threats. But I don't know, something was missing. I don't know what. Um, it I'd probably have to think more about it. But overall, I like the movie. I like the characters. I like um the powers. I like how they're opening to bigger and better things. The direction of the movie, I like. I like the way they did a lot of the shots with the um Aristu. I think that's the signal name of like him like standing so big and bad and talking to the Eternals. Um, I like a lot about the movie. I like the way they did the powers with um Sprite, with the speedster, and the comedy of this movie. Corran, the big guy,
Mm.
was hilarious. I think he kind of stole the show. And overall, I like that. I just don't like the way they kind of. I didn't know that they were going to kill off some of the characters. Was unfortunate. Like was bad. Like I didn't want Gilgamesh to die. Spoiler alert. I didn't want Icarus to
Yeah.
die, even though he was the baddie. Um, Kind of redeemed himself at the end and kind of he flew too close to the sun. Blah blah blah. I didn't want these characters to die because they were good characters. Why kill off like three of them? I mean, I know we're probably gonna get more Eternals because the ending, but I was kind of disappointed because I wanted to see more of them. What about you? What do you think?
I can agree with that for the most part, for sure. Yeah, but like the shots were as amazing as I thought they were going to be, for sure. That was really awesome. And I thought the story of like the beginning of it, like explaining the Eternals and the Deviants, like that was really cool, especially how it started with an opening scroll. Like I was like, oh, like none of the Marvel movies have started that way. And I just thought it was really cool that you finally got something that was totally different as how it started.
Yeah.
Um so that was really interesting to see. And yeah, kind of seeing like how the Celestials are born and like why they end up kind of protesting against it and things like that were really interesting. I like the inclusion of man, I can't even remember his character's name in it. The guy that Kit Harington, the guy who plays John.
Yeah, Kit Harington. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I can't even remember his character's name in the movie, but I like that character a lot just because that was the introduction of Black Knight, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
which we'll see more from in the future, I'm guessing. But
Dane Whiteman.
Is that what his name was?
Yeah.
Okay. And then yeah, Icarus was a cool character. Chloe Zhao even admitted that he was based on the Man of Steel Superman. She was a big fan of that interpretation, and she wanted to kind of do her own spin of it, which I thought was cool. And I mean, the rest of them ended up just like the Justice League too. So that was
yeah.
But yeah, and I'm all for diversity in movies. This movie certainly went all out on diversity for it.
Yeah, they kind of did.
I
mean, I don't
mean,
know
even down to hearing disabled, and I was just like, wow, like they covered the full range of everything. Which was just like, okay. And of course, like when I saw that, I sort of thought already, I was like, oh, of course, people are probably going to take issue with this. Like, what do you have to do? It's just like, who cares at the end of the day? Like, just is the movie good or not? And I mean, yeah, I do like it overall, but I do kind of felt like the story was a little flat
Mm-hmm.
just because been there, done that in a way. And also, I can't really say I was like caring about any of the characters in the movie. Um, I thought it was funny. I liked the characters. I like all of them. Brian Tyree Henry, I actually thought he did really well. That dude's just like become a really crazy good actor. Like, you
Yeah.
know, first thing that I think we all saw him in was Atlanta. And now that dude's been in like so many things since then. And
Mm-hmm.
that I just like that actor a lot. Kamal Nanjiani, as his character Kingo was really good.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, I thought it was cool. I thought like it really my takeaway from it was like that it opened the doors for a lot of things to happen in the MCU. But I feel like in the end it kind of feels like a Captain America First Avenger type of movie where like even though it has the time to do all these things, it's a long movie, two and a
Yeah, it
half.
was. But to
Uh
be honest, with it being long, because it was long, I kind of felt that like thankfully I ain't fall asleep throughout. But I kind of
no,
didn't
I
felt
can agree with that.
yeah, it kind of didn't feel like a long movie because anyway, first of all the Marvel movies are long.
Mhm.
But the way they tell the story, I guess it was engaging enough, just enough to me not to care about the length of the movie. Like I ain't go out like at the end of the movie, I wasn't like, oh my god, it was so long and boring. And there was times where it was, I think the kind of jokes um kind of helped. And the pacing was kind of good. And you know, I can agree with you that I ain't fall in love with the characters to the point where like who cares, but that statement is I was very shocked of how they killed off three. And everyone else had their own thing, but Icarus, man, like I don't know. I know he's supposed to be stone
He was
cold.
so OP.
Huh? I mean, bro, all you do is fly and shoot laser beams at your eye. Like, how are you that OP?
Like, yeah, dude, he
um,
was so OP. Like, it almost makes sense they killed him. Like, they had him do that because it's just like, we can't have him because
yeah,
now we can't explain anything if this guy exists.
but
Like,
my thing is okay, and I know they kind of diversified the characters because in the comic books they basically all have the same powers, and I get why they want to like single
mhm.
have them single powers and you know whatever the case
You
may
got to
be. That's
keep it
fine.
interesting for an audience. You know, you can't have them all do the same thing, or people person's
No,
probably
I agree.
pretty
I'm
bored by
happy
that.
with that approach. But first of all, one, no, okay. I'm gonna say, why not make them all fly? I mean, they all fly in the comic books, but I'm like, okay, I get it. Whatever. Um, but the thing is, at least I thought all of them were gonna have like super strength or like durability. You know, well, no, they do have durability. But at least all have super strength to a point where like they can, you know, lift up cars or something like that. But I guess only Icarus and like Gilgamesh and what's her name?
Cena,
Uh yeah, Dina can do stuff like that because you see like there's five fighters and the other rest are like more of the defense, like the healer, the people that can the sprite who can create you know kind of illusions type thing. So you have an offense, you have a defense. So I guess that's how they played it with the as far as the team goes.
yeah, and yeah, I agree with you. And look, oh, that was the thing I was gonna agree with you next was the fact there it felt like there's something missing.
Yeah,
There just there's some element of it that is just it wasn't there,
yeah, it
and I
wasn't
don't
there.
know what
I,
it was.
I don't know. It probably yeah. Again, maybe I'm gonna rewatch it
Mhm.
once it comes on Disney Plus, obviously. But and then hopefully I can find that missing piece that's just like wasn't was I'm like, because I wanted to be like, I was talking with my friends. I'm like, you gonna watch this movie? It's like, no, this is a like because my friends they want like the main characters. Once they
Mhm.
start adding these new characters that they don't know unless you go into the comic books, they'd be like, no, they're doing too much. Let's keep with the same old characters. I'm like, no, bro. Like Marvel have like over 200-300 characters, bro. Like explore all of them. So I wanted to go in this movie, be like, oh my god, this movie was really good. You should watch it. But I didn't. I was just like, you know what? Just wait until on Disney Plus. You don't have to like,
Mhm.
you know, just wait. Because I know you're gonna when you watch it in the movie theaters, you're gonna say like, oh, it's garbage. So
Yeah, and when it got crazy was the after credits.
yeah, I think the after credits was crazy.
Especially that first one. I really didn't see that coming.
Me either. And I heard rumors that Harry Styles was gonna be in a Marvel film. I'm like, Harry Styles, like he he singer turned actor. I don't know. I was
Oh yeah, he's
yep.
been acting. He's in that movie Dunkirk. Um,
Oh yeah. Actually, I need to watch that movie. But yeah, I get you.
really good. But yeah, all of a sudden he just pops in and like when they say Thanos's brother, like it was kind of funny because the whole crowd like just went, "What? Thanos's brother?" And like what I didn't know is the name Star Fox. I was just like,
Me
Star
either.
Fox. I was like, one, that name goes hard because that's one of my favorite video games. Um, but but I just love that name. I was like, Star Fox, okay. And then he comes out, and I was just like, what? Harry Styles? And like, I don't even know what they're gonna do with that. But that
Me
was
either.
really cool. It was a surprise, and like again, it was like a character I didn't even really know about. Like I knew Thanos had a brother, but I didn't like know the name or anything like that. So
No,
like that was really cool.
no. I didn't know he had a brother. I didn't know nothing about the character. Um, I didn't know nothing about the character. And
Mm-hmm.
but obviously I did my research about okay, Thanos have a brother. I mean, bro, I got into when I got home, I got into all this like the um mythology and all the history of it. They don't have a brother. He has a dad that took care of him, and he's part celestial. Which I didn't know that. No, I'm sorry, not celestial. He's part deviant. Part deviant.
Oh, okay.
He's a he's a deviant that evolve into Thanos and stuff like that.
Oh wow.
Um, so I didn't know any of this. I'm like, whoa. I'm like Marvel. Like how far? I mean, I know the material is already there, but how far did you think? Like, were you always gonna create Eternals? Like
Mm-hmm.
from Iron Man 1? Like I so it was a shocking to me. And the fact that I think the silver lining of Eternals was the credit scenes and how they're gonna explore a lot of other things. And I'm happy to see Eternals. Like I can't wait for Eternals too. Like I'm still gonna go to watch the movie in the movie theaters
Mm-hmm.
because they're gonna expand on different stuff. And okay, and then towards the end credit scene, I'm like, okay, I kind of get you killed off like 3 Eternals because you said there's more Eternals that you're gonna find to be on the team. So I was like, okay, all right, I see what they did there. You know, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
happy, and the fact that there is more Eternals out there, I can't wait, bro. Like,
I know. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Now, for the second post credit scene,
yes,
did you look up whose voice that was? Right?
bro. When, I know. I, I'm like, who's that? Is that Samuel L. Jackson? Like, but I was like, it doesn't sound like him. I didn't know who it was, but I looked up
Yeah,
who it
I
was.
heard the voice and I'm like, I don't even know whose voice that was.
I thought it was him because they always play him, but I knew it wasn't because that's not Samuel L. Jackson's voice. So I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
And sure enough, I looked it up like right away, like in my seat. Like I was just like, who's that? It was Mahershala Ali.
I know. I was like,
It was fucking Blade, dude.
what? What?
That's gonna be crazy, man.
And the fact that like it's Mahershala Ali, like, so that means because they're working on the same timeline. Is this is not no multiverse, or is it?
No. It's the timeline still.
Yeah, that I'm about to say because no, it is. No, I said what is it because maybe Marvel trying to trick us and this is not the correct timeline, but they drop hints that with Thanos snap and stuff like that. So it's the same timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So either Blade was always there, or he must have came through it. I don't know. How are you gonna? How is Blade there? And why is he there?
Exactly.
And if that's the case, do you think that we're gonna see him, the Black Knight, in the Blade movie?
I would like to, and I bet so, just because I feel like he's not really a character that's going to have his own sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like, yeah, we'll see him in there. And what I wonder is if we'll see them both in the Moon Knight series.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I think. I think more a Black Knight than Blade. I think we're not gonna. I think they're not gonna touch Blade until the Blade movie. Maybe, obviously, we hear mention
Maybe.
of vampires and Loki, a mention of different, other creatures, but I think we're not gonna see Blade until the Blade movie, bro. But that was just amazing how they. I can't wait until they unpack that because, yeah, they have to tell me why they have Blade at the end of that
Yes,
scene.
dude, that's gonna be so crazy. That's gonna be so cool to find out.
Yeah. So after everything, what you rate the movie?
Like 6.5, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe 7.
I was thinking, yeah, high 7, but it's in the 6. It's in the 6, bro. It's overall, yeah.
Like
I still want more.
Shang-Chi was really the best Marvel movie that's hit this year so far.
What is this?
Shang-Chi, that was the best one that hit this year so far.
Yeah, so far until Spider-Man throws it out the water.
Yeah, dude, Spider-Man's gonna be crazy. I can't wait for that.
Exactly. So, about to be the end of the year. It's November now. About to be 2022. What are the movies or shows that you want to watch like towards the end of the year?
Well, obviously we just hit one, Spider-Man. Um, you got Matrix Resurrections coming up. I'm very intrigued to see that. What was the Cowboy Bebop's coming up soon?
It's already out.
What?
Yeah, it's on Netflix right now. I believe so.
Oh crap! I'm gonna have to watch that tonight then.
I don't quote me on this. Well, like don't quote me. I haven't watched it yet. But I didn't even read the article, but it says it's flat. That's what the article said, like the headlines.
Interesting.
But I haven't watched it yet.
IGN's review. They said it's pretty good. Funny enough, they said when they tried to do their own thing is when it almost derails the entire show.
Of course.
Which I thought was really interesting. I'll still check it out though.
No, definitely, most definitely.
But if you haven't watched yet, Blade Runner has a anime show on Adult Swim right now. That's interesting so far. It just released the first 2 episodes last week.
Mhm.
They're okay, like aggressively okay. Expecting a little more. So we'll kind of see how that goes. And I'm also kind of like I'm trying to figure out if I like this computer generated anime style. Like it looks good, and then other times I'm like, I don't know. But I love Blade Runner, so I'm trying to give it a chance. If you love Doctor Who, the newest season's going on right now, and it's fire. I love Doctor Who.
Yeah, I
Um,
know of it, but I haven't watched any of the episodes.
the new Ghostbusters came out this weekend. I might see that. I'm not
Yeah.
sure yet. And then next weekend, I know it was a couple movies comes out that I want to see. It was like one's a Paul Thomas Anderson movie, Licorice Pizza. That it's a coming of age story, and I love those kinds of movies. I think the Resident Evil movie comes out
Yeah,
next
that was what I
week.
was about to say. The Resident Evil comes out November 24th. Yeah,
The 24th? Wait a second.
that's what it says.
Oh shit, I'm gonna see that Wednesday then.
Yeah.
Bet on that. I bet I'll be like one of like 10 people in the theater seeing
Yeah, I
that.
should. Yeah. I think. Yeah, I'm happy. Can't wait for Resident Evil. I don't know if I'm gonna see that movie theaters. I'm gonna try. But I know that the only movie, if it's not Resident, besides Resident Evil, that I'm definitely gonna see in the movie theaters is Spider-Man. The
Yes.
Matrix is gonna be on HBO Max. I'm gonna see on HBO Max. The King's Man.
Oh, that looked good.
That looks good. I don't know if I'm gonna see that in the movie theaters. Um, but I'm gonna watch it still. But I'm excited to that's movies coming out. Hawkeye obviously coming out on Thursday.
Mm-hmm. Another good one. I think it's coming out this year, maybe it's next year. Shoot. Horror movie called Nightmare Alley.
Yeah, Nightmare Alley.
Yeah, that's supposed to drop December 17th, same weekend as Spider-Man. That looks really good. I'm excited to see that. They're going to do the tragedy of Macbeth.
Bradley Cooper. Yep.
They're going to do the tragedy of Macbeth on Apple Plus, and they're going to release in theaters too. That looked pretty good. It's got Denzel in it.
Francis definitely. So you say it comes on Apple Plus, but it's going to come out movie theaters as well?
I think it's going to release in theaters first and then Apple Plus.
Okay, gotcha.
And then same with the Netflix movie too. Don't Look Up. That's coming up, and that looked pretty good.
Yeah, that looks pretty good. Yep.
Jonah Hill.
Leonardo DiCaprio. Yep. Yeah, man. I think the random movie
Moon Crash.
Moon Crash?
Or not Moon Crash. What is it? It's Moon something. Moonfall. Oh no, that's coming up next year. Yeah, that's gonna come out in February next year. Never mind. That looks weird. So I'm gonna save for another time talking about that. That looks interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, those are a bunch of different things I'm pumped about.
Yeah. I think we have a couple of things to talk about, a couple of new things. I can't wait until I know 2022. I can't wait to talk about 2022 slates that coming out, but we just have to get through 2021 stuff that's coming out. So thank you guys for listening. Hope you guys stay for the whole thing. Just comment below on what you guys think about Dune, The Closer, Dave Chappelle, Eternals, all the other stuff we're talking about. Again, like I said, I want to do more of this. Kind of talk about different things, and just not review one thing all the time. We're still going to do that as a format, but I want to do this as well. So again, comment below, like our page, follow our page, and email us. Let us know what movies you want us to cover and talk about. Until then, peace.